Hi guys, I hope you're having an awesome day. Today we're going to talk about being a wealth builder and how you can create that life of financial freedom. And we're going to talk a lot about what that actually means and get down to the depth of it, because a lot of us have a lot of mixed feelings when it comes to money. It's just one of those subjects that can even be taboo. And who wants it to be taboo? And we think about it, it's kind of funny, right? Because if somebody was like, if I can, somebody was just gonna hand you $1,000 or give you a guarantee you'd win the lottery or whatever the case may be, what would we say? Hell yeah, give me the money, right? That's the immediate thought that comes to our minds. Of course, it's a no-brainer, but that's not what's happening in the subconscious mind, because in the subconscious mind is the root of how we really feel about money. And a lot of that comes from our childhood experiences with money. And that's because we don't have a filter when we're a kid. When we're a kid, we just take everything at face value. So for example, let's say when you were growing up, money was a big source of arguments with your parents or your guardians. It would have given you a negative impression. And so money would maybe mean fighting to you or sadness or something like that. So then we subconsciously find ways to sabotage ourselves out of getting that money. So that is something that we have to address when we're talking about building wealth, because we're not able to do it while we've still got those underlying feelings sitting beneath the surface. But before we get into that a little bit more, what we want to talk about is, why is it something that we want to do? Why is it important? And these are the reasons that can help us push all of that negative crap we've picked up over the years, because we've all got it. We've all heard things, we've all seen things, all that subliminal crap we pick up. Getting rid of that means we need to know and be clear about why money is a positive thing. And that really takes some thinking about it, because let's face it, we've all heard the things like, money doesn't grow on trees, and rich people are the root of all evil, or different things like that. All these negative little things, and they pile up, right? Until they become our truths. But I quoted truths because they're not really true. We've accepted them as truths, but they don't have to be your truth. And you can rewrite what's true for you so that it's supportive of you, getting into the wealth game, getting into that point where you're to that freedom stage that you want to be. And a lot of people, it's really interesting when we start talking about money, because we get into all these things. Well, money isn't as important as happiness, or money isn't as important as family. And one thing that I like that a lot of people who are wealth positive talk about is that's kind of like saying wealth is like a choice, like wealth and family. It's like, what's more important, your arm or your leg? It's that kind of question, and it's important to ask yourself that, because both of them are equally important in completely different ways. They're apples and oranges. And when we talk about that kind of thing, it's really put there as an excuse because we're afraid to take those steps moving forward to do some of the things we need to do in order to build that wealth, that financial freedom. And to clarify, what is financial freedom? Because this is very different for each individual person, because we each have different desires in life that we want to accomplish. So for somebody, financial freedom might just be, you don't have to work again unless you want to. All your bills are taken care of, you're living comfortably. For certain people, maybe for you, it's like you've got this grand, and you're like, I want to live in a mansion, and I want to have, the most kick-butt car, and I want to donate 100,000 a year to charity. Fantastic. It's just a different financial freedom. I'm not even going to say level, but what you need to create to live that lifestyle that makes you feel completely free and having the time to do what you really want to do in life. And that can be very scary as we're getting into that for many different reasons, because a lot of us have, all of these things in life where we've had people, judgment, right? Judgment can be a big part of it, because maybe it's always been your dream to open up a restaurant. You've always wanted to do a restaurant or a chain of restaurants, and you're like, every everybody, my friends, my family, my spouse, my kids, they're gonna judge me for it. That can be at the back of your mind. And in society, we've got some really interesting things that happen with this, because it's completely and perfectly acceptable to go and get into massive debt to get, a doctorate or go through any kind of college or university education. Completely acceptable. But to go and take like a $10,000 or $20,000 loan to start a business is weird. It's funny because this is the way that we think. And so it's one of those things where it can have a stigma, and that can stop us from going after that, even though that could be the best thing possible for us. We're scared. Fear holds us back. And you'll hear me say this all the time. Success is on the other side of fear. And usually what we're afraid of in our heads is so much bigger than the reality of what it actually is. And am I saying that it's easy? Well, there's roadblocks. You always have little hurdles that we're pushing through, and that's completely fine. That's part of the journey. That's how we grow as people. You want to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That helps us grow as people. That gives us a lot more to take away from the experience, because the experience is one of the most important things that we go through. And of course, there's the reward on the other side of it. So as we get into this relationship with money that we have, we really need to address how we feel about it. And a lot of that's going to come down to, how do I really feel about it? Your conscious mind says, I want it. I know it'll make me free. I know it's a good thing. Your subconscious mind might be going, yeah, but every time we had money in our house before, it was always a fear we'd lose it, and then we didn't know what was going to happen. So money becomes this object of, oh my gosh, what do I do with it? I'm scared of it. I don't know what to do with it. And if I had it, how would I manage it? And it just seems like a big deal. And see, we build it up into be something crazy that it's not. So it's very important that as we get into our feelings about money, our real feelings about money, that we go, this was something that I picked up before. It isn't necessarily true for how I feel and am now as an adult. And so if your fear is not knowing how to manage it, it's knowing that, there's professionals out there. When I get that money, I'm going to be able to learn how to manage it, and to be able to do some small managing aspects now in the present with what you do have. And it may not be much. It might be, you might have $1 right now today to manage, and I will go over at the end of this presentation what you're going to do with that $1. You might have $100 that you can do this with. You might have 1,000, you might have more. Whatever you have now, you want to start managing your money now. Why? You might go, oh, I'll learn to do it when I have it. No. You got to do it now, because managing your money now is going to grow your money, so you have more money to manage. And the cool thing that happens in life is where we put our focus, things grow. And you've had this happen before in your life, whether you were really aware of it or not. As soon as you make up your mind to go and do something, it goes into action. And the way that things work in our world is it's a transition between the non-physical world and the physical world. And things start with our thoughts, and our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings drive us into action, and our actions create our results. And that little formula of that pattern of thoughts to feelings to actions to results, when we know that that's how it works, we know that we got to start with our thoughts. So if you want to be a wealth builder, you got to know that, okay, I got to start focusing on what I really want in life. And I got to start picturing that and visualizing it, because that's going to manifest it into the physical world. What you think about matters. So if you're constantly thinking that money is a negative thing, or that you never have enough money, you need to start taking note of those thoughts. And when you hear them, you go, thank you for sharing. That isn't necessarily true now. And get some little mantras for yourself. And one of them that I love, that I say all the time, is I am a money magnet. I am a money magnet. Whenever you're feeling lack, something like that, push that thought out and go, I am a money magnet. I love money. Money comes to me. Start getting those thoughts going, because those thoughts get you into that mode where you start drawing the stuff to you. It's really interesting how that happens. And this is where we get into mindset mastery. You need to start taking control of your thoughts. And this is a process. It's not something that happens overnight where you suddenly go from being maybe completely negative about money and feeling a sense of lack and that kind of thing to being completely positive. But you start to take note. You start to go, wait a minute, that thought I used to have that I'm still having, it's not serving me. I'm gonna let it go. And you let that go. And you replace it with the positive thought. So if it's I never have enough money to pay my bills, you're going to change it into I accept that money comes to me in many different ways, or something like that, where it's a supportive thought, or I am grateful that I had enough this month to pay off half of my bill. Turn it into a positive. It's going from that glass half empty to the glass half full. And it really matters. People always roll their eyes that, oh, it is like, why does that matter? Because it all starts in your mind. It all starts with your thoughts. So as we go from that and we start to get into that wealth building, there are many different ways that we bring money into our lives. And of course, most of us are familiar with the workplace stuff, the salary or hourly wages that we get. And with that money, that's fantastic. That's a good baseline, but you will never create financial freedom with that alone. That is an important factor. That is something that's giving you the baseline, but it's what you do with that money from there that really matters. So as we take that baseline income, what do we need to do with it in order to make sure we get financial freedom? Because we know if we stick with our salary alone, there's only so much you can do with that money, right? So we want to make sure that we're also having a passive income along with our working income. And passive income, this is where it kind of can be a lot of bit of fun because it can be completely you-based. This is something that's, you can do what you love to make this kind of money. And you do have to put in some work to get the passive income started. But the cool thing with passive income is once you build that, whatever it is you're building, that's when you're going to have money coming in when you're sleeping. This is money that just comes in without you having to work anymore. And that's the kind of money we all want. So how can you create some passive income? One fantastic way is multi-level marketing. That's what I've done for myself as one of my primary sources of passive income. And the fun thing with that is there are tons and tons of different companies out there. You can pick one that you love. I'm personally with Beachbody because their products changed my life, so of course I'm going to be with them. So it's one of those things where you can pick something you love and you just share it, and that business builds. You got to put some time into it, you got to put effort into it, but from that you're going to build something that pays you back continuously, and that's very exciting. Residual income, just a couple examples from writing a book. As the sales go on, you get residual income. Actors, as you do like TV shows, commercials, all that kind of stuff, residual income comes from that. So it's one of those things where you do the work up front and then it goes out into the world, and as sales happen or replays or whatever, you're gonna get residual income off of that, which we love. Business duplication. So maybe you have an idea to create a franchise or something like that, or a business where you can duplicate it so that you're teaching people how to run it so that you don't personally have to be involved after a while, and then you just take like dividends. That's an amazing way to create wealth. That's very similar to multi-level marketing. It's just that might be more of a brick and mortar business. Investments. Tons of different ways you can invest your money. I'm not going to get into really details on that, but absolutely invest your money. So you're going to want to make sure that you talk to a financial expert, somebody at your local banking institute. Get a recommendation. If you have a friend or family member who has a really good financial advisor, talk to them. And just to be clear, make sure that this financial advisor is really well off themselves, because they better be using their own advice that they're giving you so that you make sure that your money is getting the most bang for its buck so that you can turn $1 into $1,000 kind of thing. Like it's just one of those things where, each of those dollars is going to go out and be your little money soldier to make you more money. Yay, we like that. Stock market, of course, that can take a little bit of education, but it's totally worth taking the time to learn that kind of thing because that's going to bring you more money. And real estate, as we know, just generally speaking, things appreciate over time. So investing that money into real estate is a really good idea. And when we get into beyond that, so we've got our working income, our passive income. How you save your money is really important, because if your money is coming in constantly and you're blowing it all the time, that's not good. We want to be able to put some of that money away. So one thing that I really like to do is I have like an auto withdrawal. So each week I just have it set up so a certain amount is immediately taken out of my paycheck and put into a savings account that collects interest. So this way it's just done. I don't even have to think about it, it's automatic. So that is something I highly suggest. Do something that's a comfortable amount, but that's also going to grow in a way that's really exciting to watch. And you do not touch that money in that account. Like, you leave it alone. It is there to grow. And what you can do with that money, be smart with it. If you're going to take some out, make sure that you're going to do something good with it, whether it's going to be putting it into education for yourself, putting it towards a business, advertising, marketing, whatever it is that you need at that time to grow it into more money. And some of the best ways you can divide up your money, and I took this out of the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. I highly recommend getting that book and reading it through multiple times, because he is awesome. You want to have your living money, you want to have your savings, you want to have investment money, you want to have an education fund, and you want fun money. You really want fun money, and you want financial freedom money. So ways that you can divide this up, and this is going to be completely different for every person, but like I said earlier in this video, if you've got $1 today, you're going to take that and break it up. So you're going to put 10 cents into your financial freedom fund, and you might go, why am I bothering putting that? That's ridiculous. It's such a small sum. Part of this is that it is like a metaphor for your brain. It's symbolic. It is getting it out to the universe to go, I'm taking the money I currently have and managing it. And I'm putting my focus on my money because I am telling you I want more of this, and that I'm being responsible with it. And it gets your brain in the right mode. And when you get into that, you start getting inspiration, which is very exciting. You start to get to that point where you start seeing opportunities and things that you just didn't even know were there, and they were right in front of you the whole time. But because in life we tend to get tunnel vision, right? We tend to, whatever we focus on expands. So whatever we're focused on, if we're like, I'm swamped with my bills and I'm broke all the time and I hate my job, we just focus on that and it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Likewise, when we take the time to start focusing on building financial freedom and wealth and what we really want out of life, and focusing on a job that we really do want to have, and focusing on maybe vacations are really important to you, or you want to world travel, or you've always wanted to be a country singer, I don't know, whatever it is. If you focus on that, you'll start to see opportunities present themselves that let you explore those avenues. And in the end, money is really there to allow you to have more really cool experiences in your life. That's what it really boils down to, is that's what the money is there for. It's there to allow you to do the things that you really want to do. It's there to help you. Like, let's say for you, you're like, oh, money is greedy and and why would I have that when somebody else is starving? Well, you being a martyr and starving with them isn't helping nobody. But if you build that wealth, guess what? Then you can give back and you can help other people, if that's something that's important to you. So I want you to take note of that. Whatever it is that you want to do in life, money helps you do it, period. Money isn't, and we get caught up in the actual money, but money is really what it allows you to do, period. And it's not the money itself. So I want you to think about more beyond the money. Well, what would the money help me do? Well, the money would help me do X, Y, and Z. It would help me take my family on more vacations. It would help me help out my parents and my in-laws. It would help me donate to people who don't have enough. It would allow me the freedom and the time to be able to give back to the community. Things like that is really important. And Carrie, that's exactly right. It is a tool. It is a tool for you to use in your life. And that's really where it starts and ends. And it's us that apply all of these crazy thoughts and feelings, good, bad, and otherwise, to it. So it's stepping back and realizing what it really is. And it is a tool. So that's really where you want to be focused with your money, is it's a tool. So what do I really want to do in life? And that's what it's going to open up for you, is the doors to be able to do that and to be able to enjoy more of the important things. And if, again, like I said, if you're one of those people who's like, people are more important than money, apples and oranges, having more money means you get to spend more time with those people that you really enjoy. And maybe you also get to help them have more freedom because you can help them out. So it's all, relative, right? It's all about perspective. So it's helping yourself start to learn how to think about things in that more pragmatic way. So that is kind of our little once-over tutorial on the wealth building today. And I hope that it's got you thinking about, how do you really feel about money? And are some of those beliefs holding you back that you've been holding on to? Are they still serving you? Are they doing you well? Or are they negative? And if they are, start working through those feelings. Start working through, is that really something that serves me? Is it true for me today? And if it's not, it's time to let it go. It's time to go, thank you. That was something I needed to learn from, and I did, and now I'm gonna move into that positive zone and moving forward with it. So that's something that's very important with it. Anyways, I really hope this tutorial is very helpful for you. And if multi-level marketing is something that you are interested in pursuing as an avenue of passive income, and I highly recommend it. I have loved working with Beachbody. I would absolutely love to help you build up your business so that you have that passive income that allows you to quit your job if you want to and be at home if you want to, so that you can do what you want to. And that's what it's really all about. So have an awesome day, guys. Go kick some butt and go put some money into your financial freedom account, be it a shoebox or in a bank account. Have a good one, guys.